We're live.
I'd like to call the regular village board meeting for the Village of Shorewood to order on December the 8th in the year 2020. We'll forego the Pledge of Allegiance just due to logistics, and we'll go straight to the roll call. Diane, roll call, please. Or Tony, roll call, please.
Mayor Chapman.
Here.
Anderson.
Here.
Brockman.
Here.
DeBold.
Here.
Kirkland.
Here.
Luciano.
Here.
Warren. Warren. Dan Warren.
Dan, are you with us?
I see he's on, but he has a orange triangle.
Okay, what's an orange triangle mean? Stepped away for...
I believe that means there's a low bandwidth. Oh, there it goes. I think he's here, but he's having some technical difficulties in staying connected.
All right, can you hear me now?
There you go.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I'm here. My computer's freezing up or something.
All right. Did we get the complete roll call?
Yes, we did, Mayor.
Okay. And let the record show there's a quorum. The regular village business can be accomplished tonight. We'll move on to citizens, and we'll give them a moment. Are there any citizens that are attending this meeting that would like to speak to the village board? If so, just speak up. Make sure that your mic is not muted. And we'll give you half a minute here to get going. All right, well, during the meeting, if there is a citizen that wants to make a comment, just kind of break in, ask permission, and I'll more than likely grant that because of their circumstances. I'll move on right now to tonight's consent agenda, which consists of approval of the regular meeting minutes for November the 24th. Also, approval of the committee of the whole meeting minutes for November the 24th. Approval of accounts payable in the amount of $228,761.47. Also, approval of a payment in the amount of $45,804.04 to Ron Terrapelli Ford for a 2021 Ford Explorer. And finally, approval of a payment in the amount of $144,604.80 to Tria Architecture for the new public works facility. Are there any comments? Somebody's got their mic open, and it's really becoming this. Okay, thank you. Are there any items?
Trustee Luciano, Mayor.
Yes.
Mayor, this is Trustee Luciano. I just wanted to, on the minutes for November 24th, I had called Diane to ask her to make a correction on number 3 on the second page regarding my vote. So just so you know, it was incorrect in the minutes. So she probably will correct that.
Okay. All right. You're satisfied with that? The correction's going to be made, right?
It's going to be made. It isn't made yet.
Okay. All right. Okay. Are any other items a trustee would like removed for further review or any other comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda for tonight as amended by Trustee Luciano.
So move. DeBold.
Second.
Okay. Mention your name when you do come on so that Tony gets it correct. So it was the motion.
DeBold made the motion. Yeah, and Trustee Warren was the second.
Okay. Okay. Tony, roll call, please.
Brockman,
Yes.
DeBold,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Luciano,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Now let the record show the consent agenda was approved as amended. We'll move on to reports and communications. I have a couple of resolutions. The first part of the business order, I have no proclamations tonight. Any communications to the board, Tony?
No, there's not.
Okay, I have no comments, so I'm going to move right on to the order of business tonight. Business item number 1, consideration for approval of a resolution of the Village of Shorewood honoring Arthur Art Countryman. Yeah, it's definitely my honor tonight to read a couple of resolutions on some very outstanding employees for the Village of Shorewood, long-term employees. And I'm going to read the resolution. I would almost wish that we would have had the time to spread these out so that the resolutions would be on each individual would be on 2 separate occasions. But I'm sure they're in a hurry to get to their fishing cabins, and they would like to get the resolution out of the way and all the paperwork signed. So I would hope that maybe Art or Bill are on the line tonight to listen to the resolution. But if they are not, it's an honor for me to read both of them. So the first one is Art Countryman. And I am missing Mr. Countryman's resolution. I apologize for that. I thought I had everything spread out over the dining room table the way I wanted it, and apparently I don't. So,
Mayor, this is Jim. Would you like me to read that for you?
Yes, would you please? And I will do Mr. Cerny. Okay, is that what I have?
Very good. So now be it hereby remembered that Arthur Art Countryman truly and faithfully served the Village of Shorewood Will County, Illinois, as an employee from March 31st, 2008, December 18, 2020. Whereas the Village of Shorewood has had the good fortune to have been served for over 12 years by Art Countryman. He began as a maintainer 1 in the Parks Division of the Public Works Department. On August 25th, 2017, he became the Julie locator for the village. And whereas Art is a very dependable and knowledgeable employee who is always willing to give assistance or contribute beyond the limits of his responsibilities. He is exceptionally pleasant and courteous, providing quality service to our residents. And whereas it is hereby found and determined his service over the last 12 years has been invaluable to the Village of Shorewood. Art will be sorely missed and may be succeeded, but that he can never be replaced. And whereas it is hereby deemed advisable, necessary, and in the best interest of the village, that the President and Board of Trustees express their appreciation and deep gratitude for the outstanding service and tremendous efforts and achievements of Art Countryman in his 12 years with the village and express their best wishes for his retirement. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the President and Board of Trustees of the Village of Shorewood, Will County, Illinois, that Art Countryman is hereby recognized for his service to the Village of Shorewood from March 31st, 2008 to December 18th, 2020. Be it further resolved that Art Countryman shall carry with him the blessing and gratitude of this village and all of its residents wherever he may travel. Be it further resolved that this resolution upon adoption be spread in full upon the record of the Village of Shorewood, and the clerk of the village is hereby directed to deliver Art Countryman a signed copy thereof.
And about now, if things were the normal world, we would be applauding Art. Tremendous applause for Art, and we'd have him walking from board member to board member, shaking hands. Art, if you're on the line with us, I'm going to open up the mic for you to make a comment. If you're not, we hope that you review this meeting and see how I lost a piece of paper on you. Okay. Now, I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution honoring Art Countryman.
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
Yeah.
DeBold.
Right. All those in favor say aye.
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 Not a lot of pomp and circumstance this way, that's for sure. But I'd like to now consider for approval a resolution of the Village of Shorewood honoring Bill Cerny. And his resolution reads as follows. Now be it hereby remembered that William B. Cerny, Jr. truly and faithfully served the Village of Shorewood, Will County, Illinois, as an employee of the Public Works Department from April 1st, 1989 to December the 31st in the year 2020. And whereas the Village of Shorewood has had the good fortune to have been served for over 31 years by Bill Cerny, Jr. He began as a seasonal help in April 1986 to April 1988, then began full-time employment on April 1st, 1989, as a maintainer in the Public Works Department. In January of 1991, he earned his wastewater treatment works operator certification. And in December 1994, earned his Class A water operator license. On February 3rd, 2000, Bill was promoted to the utility supervisor. And whereas Bill is an exceptional employee who has exceeded our expectations with his dedication, wealth of knowledge, skills, and leadership. During his tenure, the village purchased the Will County Water Department in 1988. He has seen tremendous growth in the village and has played an important role by maintaining our infrastructure and elevated water towers and its systems. The village has received many accolades over the years for Bill from residents and businesses for him and his team going above and beyond, and his willingness to help and solve problems in an effective manner and providing quality service. And whereas it is hereby found and determined his services over the last 31 years have been invaluable to the village of Shorewood. There will be sorely missed and may be succeeded, but he can never be replaced. Whereas it is hereby deemed advisable, necessary, and in the best interest of the village that the President and Board of Trustees express their appreciation and deep gratitude for the outstanding service and tremendous efforts and achievements of Bill Cerny Jr. in his 31 years with the village and express their best wishes for his retirement. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the President and Board of Trustees of the village of Shorewood, Will County, Illinois, that Bill Cerny Jr. is hereby recognized for his services to the village of Shorewood from 1987 through December 31st, year 2020. Be it further resolved that Bill Cerny Jr. shall carry with him the blessing and gratitude of this village and all of its residents wherever he may travel. Be it further resolved that if this resolution upon adoption be spread in full upon the records of the village of Shorewood, and the clerk of the village is hereby directed to deliver to Bill Cerny Jr. a copy thereof. Approved the 8th day of December in the year 20. I would ask a motion on this resolution.
So move on DeBold.
Second, Kirkland.
Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. There are no opposed. If you're out there, Bill, I'm going to open up the mic for a second. If you'd like to say a word.
Yeah, Mayor, I'm here. First off, I just want to thank you and the village board for giving me the opportunity to do it. You took a lot of faith in me back in the day, and it was a tough run. We had a lot going on, all the development, and I had a lot of help from a lot of people, including Fran, all my guys in the public works. I love my job. I love the people. I love the residents. I grew up in Shorewood. I love my job. It's hard for me to say bye, but you know, we've gone through a lot of different things. Tornadoes, floods, you know, the Y2K, polar vortex, snowstorms that's closed the village down. Now we've got the pandemic, and, you know, it's just, I love it. I'm going to miss it. I've given the village 100% my whole time, and I've not been able to be with my family. So I've got to give my family the love and the time. I've had a lot of help from all the guys. It's going to be hard for me to leave. This has been a big part of my life. And like I say, I love the village, and I love my job, but it's time for me to give it to my family. So I just want to say thanks again, and I appreciate everybody's help, and it's tough. I'm a little choked up, but
Can hear it in your voice, Bill.
Tell you what, if I had to do it all over again, I'd be the guy in the front of the class, waving my arms, telling the mayor, give me the chance, I'll do it. And I would hope that he would do that for me. So thank you again, and God bless everybody.
Hey, Mayor, this is Anderson. I'd just like to make a comment, or maybe in the future when this pandemic's over, if we can get Bill and Billy Elbrock from last week or 2 weeks ago, and Donna and our countrymen, if we could get together with them and actually give them a proper send-off after this pandemic's over with, instead of just doing this over the phone. And, Bill, you've been, I've seen you for the last 20-some years working out there, and, you've done a wonderful job, and along with Art, too, over the last, he's got a little shorter time here. You guys really did well over there. And, hopefully we can all see you one more time.
Yeah, Bill, you're not planning on running away, are you?
Definitely. I'd love to see this pandemic go away, and we can all sit around and have a little cocktail together. That would be fantastic.
Heck, it's a great idea. Me and you can talk about our survivorship, right? I'm talking about the COVID. Okay? But you didn't actually get it, did you, Bill? And it was just suspect.
I actually, when my dad passed away, I ended up getting it. I guess you could say the day I went to bury my dad. I came down with the symptoms, and eventually, about a week later, ended up getting it. And so it's been a bad year. It's been a bad year for everybody. It's been an extremely bad year for me. But, yeah, I got it. I survived it. I don't know if I'm immune from it for a while, but, it's taken a lot out of everybody. And it's just, like I say, it's been a bad year for everyone. And, I wish things were different. So, but again, I say thank you to everybody, all my guys that's in the public works, Fran, Jim Parthen, Stevie Mack, Bill Ellerbrock, everybody. We've all worked together as one team, and we've all done a very good job, and it's hard to say goodbye to everyone.
Okay. Well, you were always our go-to guy, Bill. Always remember that. And you were my go-to guy if I had a question about the department. So, at any rate, we're going to miss you. And I'm sure I'm speaking for everybody on the board. We're going to miss you, miss your expertise, miss your guidance when it comes to our system. And we can hopefully you've trained somebody to put in position so that everybody, when we turn on the water, we get it. But we appreciate what you've done. So, Bill, good night. God bless. Tell your mom we said the same thing, okay? It's okay to say something,
Okay,
Bill.
Mayor, thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on now to business item number 3. Consideration for approval of an ordinance of the Village of Shorewood establishing closing hours for certain classes of liquor licensees in conformance to the executive order of the governor of the state of Illinois. This is up for a first read, but I've got a statement that I need to make because I'm sponsoring this ordinance. Okay, the governor has put mitigation guidelines in place in an effort to slow the spread of COVID-19 and not overwhelm our medical capabilities. The numbers being reported coming into the holiday season say that we're close to this limit now, and if we continue in an upward direction, we'll definitely exceed our response capabilities when it comes to the hospitals and the first responders. The Tier 3 mitigation, among other restrictions, calls for an 11 p.m. bar and restaurant closures, no indoor service, and no service at the physical stool bar itself. Over the past month, I've communicated to the owners of our service establishments in an attempt to help slow the spread of the virus, but also to let them know that the board understands the negative economic impact that these restrictions have, and that we will work with them on grant money from the feds and the state, and we'll also be giving them financial relief at the village level. We also will be reasonable with inside service restrictions due to the colder weather conditions, as long as they would also be good stewards of the governor's mitigation efforts. Specifically, I asked them to attempt to not overcrowd their facilities and try to keep reasonable separation by the patrons. At first, most of our facilities were attempting to comply. One was not. I asked the chief to have a talk with that individual group, and of course they told him they would do better. We even told them to quit the music on a couple of weekends so they wouldn't draw the crowds. They did the first 2 weekends, and then they resumed the music. Governor's 11 p.m. shutdown was being done at the others until they saw that this one group was not abiding by the shutdown order. Our problem is, along with other communities, the lack of enforcement capabilities in-house. Joliet chooses not to enforce the state guidelines because of fear of repercussions, such as lawsuits and litigation. This was told direct to me by the mayor. Others have just simply decided not to enforce any of the state's guidelines, relying on their establishments to comply voluntarily. Because we have a very large facility and available entertainment, we have a situation that's promoting very large gatherings in Shorewood, especially on the weekends. We have tried to be reasonable and try to help our businesses get through this COVID nightmare by understanding the restrictions or by being gentle on the restrictions for indoor service and how it could be a death sentence to them. By not asking them to follow that guideline, we also ask them to be reasonable themselves and close at a reasonable time. That is not happening. In some case, or some causing the others to claim foul. Regardless of our personal thoughts about this virus and how it is being handled by the authorities, we as the village board need to do our part to protect the health and welfare of Shorewood's residents. So far this past month, we have doubled the reported positivity numbers of the previous month within the village. Therefore, the temporary ordinance that comes before you tonight allows our enforcement personnel the ability to ensure that the designated facilities comply with mandates from the state, but only for the state-declared duration of this emergency, and then this ordinance disappears. I asked the board to put this ordinance in place tonight so that we can have better control over crowd size at our local establishments this upcoming weekend. The weekend's going to warm up. It was crazy last weekend, as most of you know and saw, thanks to the chief's tape of what went on down there. And I'm just asking for this to be passed tonight so that we can put it in place within the next couple of days. So any comments?
I just have one comment. I'm not crazy about putting any more restrictions on our businesses, but I understand that this is the best for the community, and giving them the honor system has failed to work. And this is the next step to make it what it needs to be. And, you know, I just hate to do it, but it's a necessary thing right now.
I would agree.
Yeah, I just want to comment as well. I have to agree. I'm not a fan of putting a blanket ordinance in place, especially if there's only one violator that's repeatedly violating and creating problems. But in the bigger spectrum, knowing that the hospital numbers are increasing, seeing that our own zip code is increasing, I do believe this gives a better enforcement aspect to try to help create some sort of control to slow the spread and the mitigation efforts.
Thank you. And I agree with that wholeheartedly because we've been trying to work with these people so that we wouldn't, you know, I've always thought that this whole thing economically is crushing. But that type of facility, you know, you can almost say anything. Well, you know, you go into Home Depot and they're crowded, but everybody's wearing masks, and they're not sitting across from 3 feet from one another, breathing in each other's faces, and no masking. So there's a lot of things that can be said out there that the cause is not coming from that type of establishment, but when you take a look at the crowds that these people have generated lately and that they would continue to generate, and the other ones, you know, in all fairness, when they see something like that, I mean, they look at us like we're not doing our job. The problem with doing our job is that we didn't have the tools to do the job. And this ordinance kind of gives us that one more tool to help do our part to slow the spread of this disease. And hopefully we're all taking needles in the arm here within the next couple of months. That would be great. Any other comment?
This is Trustee Luciano. I just had a question, just to confirm something. We're only talking about bars. We're not talking about like the gas stations or Lenny's that sell liquor, that they can't do business.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with selling. It's, what it is the generation of crowds and packing groups of people indoors up against each other. And because of the business, the masks aren't being worn, and the touching and the logistics of the business create a petri dish. Okay, and so yeah, the other businesses they don't fall into that, and they're not under these specific license numbers.
One last question on the ordinance. Under penalties, there's nothing listed. Do we have a penalty in place if they do not follow the ordinance?
Tony, it's on the next page, sir.
Yeah.
The general penalty provision of the village code is between $25 and $750 per offense, and also if a violation could result in action against a liquor license.
Okay, I'm sorry. I saw that. I thought that was just a signature page. Thank you.
Okay.
One quick question. And just out of curiosity, does anybody know, I haven't looked into it, does anybody know what the time change becomes from tier 3 when we move back into tier 2? Does that
This is a change. Both tier 3 and tier 2 were 11 o'clock.
Okay, and then what does tier 1 move it to?
Well, tier 1 moves it back to they can be open with space capacity and they can go to normal business hours when we're in regular old phase 4, which is, I guess, phase 4, tier 1.
Phase 4, tier 1, let them go back. Okay, that's all. I was just wanting a quick clarification on that. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. If there are no other questions on this issue, I would entertain a motion to approve and waive the second read.
This is Trustee Warren, and I'll make that motion.
This Anderson.
Kirkland second.
Okay. Tony, roll call, please.
Okay. DeBold,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Luciano,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Brockman.
Yes.
Agenda item number 3 stands approved. Moving on to agenda item 4, consideration for approval of an ordinance granting a variance from Title 10 of the Shorewood Village Code to allow the outdoor storage of stone slab on gravel at 200 Ammon Dodge Drive in the village of Shorewood, Will County, Illinois. This is also up for a first read. Trustee Brockman and Chrissy.
Okay, Mayor, thank you very much. Jim Trebold, representing TST Properties, came before us virtually at our last meeting. He was asking for a variance to allow outdoor storage of stone slabs on a gravel surface where the code requires a paved surface. We did hold a public hearing on this. No one spoke for or against this project, and it does come here with an 8-0 vote, unanimous vote. I didn't hear if Kelly was on the line or not. If she is, if you would like to fill in some of the details, Kelly.
Thank you, Trustee Brockman. So to just kind of give a brief overview here, the location of the property is on the north side of Ammon Dodge Drive, and it is essentially one lot in from Cottage Street, and otherwise known as Route 59, of course. So Tribeca Granite and Marble is looking to relocate to this site. They've purchased the property. They're currently operating in Joliet, and what they want to do is be able to store their stone slabs within the existing gravel area on the lot. And so I've got on the screen here the same site plan that is attached to the proposed ordinance in the packet. And there's a blue area that is the existing gravel. If this variance is approved, it would allow the outdoor storage of just stone slabs on the gravel surface, where they would actually bring in a little bit more gravel to level off the surface and then compact it a bit to be able to store the racks with the granite on it. But the entire blue area, the existing gravel, will be allowed to be used then for the storage of the stone slabs. The PZC did recommend unanimous approval with the condition that the outdoor storage would be limited to just stone slabs, and that other outdoor storage must be in accordance with the regulations. They also stipulated that the outdoor storage may not be expanded beyond that area that is shown on the site plan, which is attached to the exhibit. And then, of course, our standard that the property shall be developed, utilized, and operated in accordance with all other codes and regulations. And so the PZC recommendation was for the approval and staff would recommend approval of the variance and with a waiver of the second read. We do have a representative from Tribeca Granite and Marble on the call in the event that there are any questions.
Did Jim, did you have anything to say about it, about the project, Jim, to the board?
Trustee Brockman, actually, Stacy is on the call. I don't know that Jim is joining us.
Oh, yes, no. Jim Trable here from Tribeca Marble. No, I have no questions or anything to add to what was said.
Okay, thank you. Anything from the board? Any questions or concerns? If not, I'll make a motion to approve an ordinance granting a variance from Title 10 of the Village Code to allow outdoor storage of stone slabs on gravel at 200 Amadodge Drive in the Village of Shorewood and waive the second read.
Trustee Warren will second.
Okay. Tony, roll call, please.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Luciano,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Brockman,
Yes.
DeBold.
Yes.
Agenda item number 4 stands approved. And
I want to say thank you to everybody. I look forward to doing business in Shorewood.
okay,
Look
welcome
forward to having you.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to move on to business item number 5. Consideration for approval of an ordinance for the levy and collection of taxes for the Village of Shorewood, Will County, Illinois, for fiscal year beginning April 1st, 2020, and ending March 31st, 2021. This is the second read. Is Burkholder?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor.
Okay, you're there.
Thank you. This is the second read of our tax levy for the 2020 calendar year. These taxes will be collected next year in 2021. The only change off of the 2019 tax extension is the increase dedicated to the police pension fund as required by our actuarial valuation. The amount of that increase is $51,727.27, making the total 2020 proposed levy $1,809,907.98, an increase of just under 3% over last year's tax extension. I'd be happy to take any questions.
I got one for you, Ann, because my speaker on the phone seemed to be breaking up. The increase in the levy was, you did give it to us in dollars?
Yes, the total increase is $51,727.27.
Okay. Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any questions for Ann? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the levy and the collection of taxes for the Village of Shorewood.
Yes, Anderson.
Sorry.
Yeah, make a motion.
I'll second. Warren.
Okay, Tony, roll call, please.
Luciano,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Brockman,
Yes.
DeBold,
Yes.
Kirkland.
Yes.
The agenda item number 5 stands approved. Moving on to number 6. Consideration for approval of a proposal for professional engineering services with Christopher B. Burke Engineering for the drainage study at Earl and Geneva Industrial Park in the amount not to exceed $46,300. Noriega.
Thank you, Mayor. Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Okay. And just to summarize from our, the at the committee full meeting, this is located in the center of the village. It is in our industrial area, Geneva, Earl Road. It is surrounded by developed residential area. It is approximately 75 acres in size. Developed in the 1970s and 80s when stormwater management was very limited at that time. Today's standards would be completely different. So with a significant area that is 75 acres surrounded by residential area, staff have, myself still trying to learn what we have in that area. We're requesting a drainage study to be performed in this area. So this is to the north, bounded by Jefferson, to the south, Ranchwood, to the east, Raven, and then of course to the west, Ravinia. It's a large area to be surveyed. Hoping from this study, we'll be able to get a better understanding of the stormwater management needs of this area, of the properties surrounding, and hopefully present some options, alternates, and our findings to the village board in the near future. Now, the only thing that has changed since our presentation on the proposal is that we updated the schedule. So previously it had indicated the old proposal indicated approval in the time frame. So I had requested Christopher Burke to provide some schedule for approval in December with completion date in July. I am available for any questions.
This is Anderson. I don't have any questions, but I just got one comment. I mean, myself and Noriel, we talked about this project, and it's going to be something that we could put on the shelf and be useful for the next, 4 or 5 years, maybe longer. I don't see any action of trying to do any repair work or work out there because we do have 3 big projects coming up here over the next couple of years, and I just don't know how we're going to be able to squeeze this in there too. But with that being said, at least we'll have something there to do or to have for work if changes come, an addition comes, a parking lot comes up there in the in that area. We have some standards to put some requirements on for whoever's doing the construction work or the builder. So it's a good plan, or it's going to be useful if there is any development up there, redevelopment. So it's going to be good.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the proposal.
I'll make that motion.
I'm sorry, who made the motion?
Luciano moved.
Okay, and second?
Warren will second.
Okay, Tony, roll call, please.
Warren,
Yes.
Anderson,
Microphone.
Anderson,
Yes.
Brockman,
I lost you guys.
Brockman,
Yes.
DeBold,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Luciano.
Yes.
Agenda item number 6 stands approved. Moving on to our final order of business. Consideration for approval of the resolution setting forth meeting dates of the Shorewood Village Board and its administrative subunits for the year 2021. I presented to you as printed. I didn't find any errors with it, but I'm open to any comments and suggestions for our meetings. So I'm open up to any suggestions.
This is Brockman. I went through the calendar and didn't see any problems with planning and zoning for the first Wednesday of the month.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting schedule for 2021.
Second, DeBold.
Okay, who seconded that?
DeBold.
Okay. Tony, roll call.
Anderson,
Yes.
DeBold,
Yes.
Brockman,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Luciano,
Yes.
Warren.
Yes.
Meeting dates for the village have been set for the year 2021. Moving on to reports. Trustee Anderson, Public Works.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Last week was the last week scheduled for our 2020 leaf vac pickup, so we're done for the rest of the year. We will be back out in the spring like usual. We did pick up 18 100 cubic loads of leaves this year, a little less than last year, and we spent $9,720 under our budget of about $7,000. So that was a good thing. Our street sweeping is continuing, and staff's beginning to do some tree pruning in the village. Moving on with the bike trail over I-55 in the DuPage River. This is the Forest Preserves project. It does impact our residents a little bit with traffic. Edison had to reschedule the moving of the power line that's over there, and that's not going to be done till the end of this month. The contractor has decided to call it a year for that project. So they're going to be wrapping up over there, and they'll be lifting the barricades up, and we'll have full access for Black Road going east and west again. That is a little bit behind schedule, but it isn't our project. And really the other, like the I&I and rehab projects, that's moving along. That's really not any significant things moving forward on it. So other than that, new street signs on West Shore have been replaced. If you remember, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago at the last meeting. And that's really all I have. So any questions, I can take them. Other than that, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you. The mic is open. Okay, thank you. Moving on, Trustee Brockman, Planning and Zoning Commission.
Mayor, thank you very much. Looks like right now January 6th will be our next meeting at the Village Hall, and we had one agenda item on the docket tonight, and so that gave us time at our last meeting. Staff wanted some feedback on future text amendments. So topics discussed included general approach to zoning, variances, text amendments, project approvals, level of support for various types of developments, project types and uses, allowable structures and yards, regulatory accessory structures, temporary accessory structures, driveway and curb cuts. So it was kind of a full evening, and we had a lot to talk about, and a lot of opinions were expressed. So made a full evening of it. So like I said, next meeting will be January 6th.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Trustee Brockman? If not, I'll move on. Trustee Kirkland, Parks and Recreation. Trustee, are you still with us?
Sorry, I was on mute. Thank you. Our Christmas tree is lit. And so if you want to take a drive through the town center to check it out, it's looking very festive up there. Everything looks really nice. Santa will be delivering letters to those who registered. Be looking for those next week. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to the Village Facebook, Instagram, and Constant Contact for Village updates and news about special events and programming. And lastly, I just want to wish everyone a safe and healthy Christmas and a Happy New Year. That's my report.
Thank you. Okay, Trustee Luciano, Citizens Advisory Committee.
Thank you. The Citizen Advisory Committee will not be meeting until January due to the holiday season. Like always, if anyone's interested in getting involved in the committee, you can contact me through the website on the Village Hall or any of the committee members. And I'd also like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, just one thing, and this is Kelly, are you still on the phone?
I am, Mayor.
Okay, would like to get an email, an official document out to all the license holders that are affected by the ordinance put into place tonight, as soon as we can, tomorrow morning, okay? To make sure they have time to make plans for their businesses. Okay?
Will do.
Okay. And Chief, I'll be talking to you. And other than that, I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. It's a shame that COVID-19 took over 2020, but it's one that we'll never forget. And, you know, so stay healthy, wear your mask, wash your hands, stay out of crowds, and have a great 2021. Okay. Other than that, I'll take a motion for adjournment.
So moved. It's Kirkland.
Second, Anderson.
Okay, roll call, Tony, and thanks for being on board with us and taking care of us, okay?
You're welcome. Trustee DeBold?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Warren?
Yes.
Luciano?
Yes.
Kirkland?
Yes.
Brockman?
Yes.
Hey, we stand adjourned. See you next year.